Greetings sailors and welcome back to World of Warships, where today I'm going to be looking at a quite relevant ship at the moment because it's one that is currently only available via this Steel event thing they're doing, Steel Fleet, the Georg Hoffman. And I got lucky, I got this out of one of the certificate Christmas crates. I've also got almost enough steel to get one of these other ships. Well, I could get the Chikuma 2 right now, but I'm kind of holding on to get a bit more steel for the Shinano because I really want to see how the Shinano does in Ops. I've watched some other videos of people playing the Shinano. Nobody's mentioned Ops, and so that's the thing I'm curious about, because one of my favourite ships for playing Ops is the Graf Zeppelin, which of course has got those pew-pew German secondaries. Now this has longer range, and it's obviously a bigger, chunkier, thicker hull, but it's also got Japanese secondary guns, which are not going to be nearly as effective as the German ones, and you don't get the same secondary buffs that you can get on things like battleships and cruisers with IFHE. So that's by the by, though. I'll cover that when I get it. But yeah, the Hoffman itself is interesting. It slots in somewhere between the Elbing and I'm not really sure what else you would compare it to. I mean, it's the same battery as the Elbing, and that means that these 150mm guns are extremely effective with their AP shells, but the actual setup is a little bit awkward. It's also got considerably better torpedoes than the Elbing, although they're sort of on a par with the, is it the Z42? I can't remember. They're the same torpedoes as one of the other tier 10s, but they have slightly better range and I think slightly worse base speed. So 14.4k damage, that's not bad. 12k is eminently usable. They've got a quick reload, so it's got a good mix of very effective firepower. It's got decent torpedoes. The concealment is better than the Elbing, which is not too difficult. And it's also, and I think this is the real sort of secret source of why this thing is actually pretty effective, it's basically got a really good mix of its consumables. You've got smoke, you've got engine boost, you've got hydro and defensive, whereas the Elbing only has the defensive and I think the Z, which I don't actually have to hand, or the Elbing. I've not got round to redoing these lines yet, but the Z I don't think has the option of the defensive. No, so it's probably most interesting just based on its versatility in consumables alone, as opposed to any of the other stats. But the other stats are also pretty reasonable. So this is an all-round pretty strong tier 10 destroyer, I would say. It's not kind of world-beating in any one like fashion, but it also, like, if you found the Elbing frustrating but liked the firepower otherwise, this thing is better than the Elbing in a lot of ways. So the Elbing does slightly edge it out in terms of just the pure firepower, though, I will say that. So hopefully we get a match that isn't going to drag on too long. I'm a bit time limited today. It is right in the thick of Christmas stuff at work, and I was supposed to have the day off today, but I have been called in to go in a little bit. I presume somebody is off sick or something, so I'm usually the person that gets called in because it doesn't take me that long to get to work, and I don't know. I guess I'm considered effective enough to the immensely technical and difficult task of washing dishes to be the first person they think of. So yeah, I often get called when somebody's off sick or something like that, but sometimes it's a little inconvenient when I've planned out a day to do something different instead. And it's kind of difficult to say no when you think they're going to get completely stuck otherwise, because there's not that many other people they can call in at short notice, and plus the money is nice. So yeah, anyway, we have got no CVs to worry about, so we're not really going to get to put the AA to test, and only a couple of other sneaky ships. But yeah, the Shimmer gearing easily outspot this, but if I can get into a gunfight with them, I mean, you've got nearly 30,000 hit points, you've got those very chunky guns, it's just you've also got quite a slow reload to go with those chunky guns, and the torpedoes are just that much more effective than the not like you think of the LB, you don't think of the torpedoes, you think of the guns. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of like, in a lot of ways this thing is just straight up better than the Elbing. There are a couple of things you can point to and say, well, technically the Elbing is better here, but as an experience playing this thing, I would take it over the Elbing any day of the week. It will be, this one I think will be available for coal. There's 2 of the 4 ships I showed you in the armory which are definitely confirmed to be available for other resources once the steel event ends, and I think it's the Prince van Oranje and is it Archerfish or Shinano? It's one of those 2 that's unconfirmed as to how you will be able to get it later. Right, so that is sneaky little sub. No, okay, we weren't quick enough getting those shots off, which is unfortunate. I can ping a hydro here, I think. I'm going to have some incoming fire as well, that's fine. And hopefully we don't take too much damage here, because we don't have a heal. You do have your hit points, but you don't have your heal. Right, we can immediately clear that ping. Right, oh well, there goes the Yoshino. That was a wasted drop, but the reload is pretty quick on this, so it wasn't really that bad of a drop. We also know the Moskva's there, so that's fine. That's kind of not unexpected to go to that position and cover the sea cap and dissuade anybody that might decide they want to try and do something there. I don't mind pushing a bit here. I mean, we don't know where the Shima... Oh, yeah, there's the Shima. Okay, well, now we do know where the Shima is, but I've got quite a lot of firepower at my back here. So if I can basically not eat torpedoes and maybe, hopefully, find things to shoot at, that will be quite useful. I think that's our U4501 that's lighting those people up there. Almost in range of the Shima. Who do I want to drop these torpedoes on? Let's try torping the Montana. Don't want to open fire yet. I know the Shima's getting spotted, but there's still a fair bit of enemy firepower. So there goes the Moskva, that's nice, that's their radar out of commission. Vallejo is actually pulling back. Might be able to put some hurt on them. I do have smoke, so if I need to, I can just... if people decide they're going to take notice of me, which they're not really doing so far. That hydro possibly was a bit unnecessary as well. Vallejo's still backing off, so they're not turning to try and engage. It's also not entirely clear where that Shima is going, but presumably just running away. Okay, there's the Vermont. Let's try and get the Republic. This is, I mean, ideally, I mean, we're playing around the torpedoes at the moment, but I think ideally you would be, like, if you were working in cooperation with another destroyer, you'd be smoking up and pew-pewing at a whole bunch of things with a mix of AP and HE. But we don't really have the wherewithal to do that, and I kind of don't want to sit in a smoke when the Shima is, yeah, there we go, relatively close. Let's get speed boost going. Oh, there's managed to miss. Is the Shima disconnected? They are absolutely not reacting at all. That would be very unfortunate for the Shima. You can also see here that that turret configuration, yeah, it's a little awkward. It's also not the fastest traverse, but I don't know what you would expect that it would be for this particular ship. If it had a super fast turret traverse on top of everything else, I think that would be a bit much. Anyway, we just need to get unspotted now. The Beleo is the last sneaky thing that can spot me on this side. Vermont and that Republic are not really paying attention to each other, which is possibly useful for me. Not landing any Torps yet. 100k spotting. I mean, we are sort of in the driving seat so far, but they're only 3 ships down, so it's not exactly a decisive lead. But we do seem to be certainly on this flank in the driving seat. Okay, yeah, our gearing's not looking so hot. But if we get this cap, that's going to give us a nice big points buff. I don't think these Torps are going to get there in time. Elbing's Torps are just so hilariously slow that it's like, yeah, okay. And you can't even get that close to launch them because of how not stealthy it is. I was actually looking at the I think it's for the next patch. Oh, I actually might hit some of those. The list of changes to ships, and there's quite a few ships. Like, I counted one straight nerf for, I can't even remember which ship it was, but it wasn't a particularly big nerf. There were a lot of other ships that were getting buffs of various kinds. So there's clearly been quite a few ships that have not been performing in a satisfactory manner. Do I want to chase after that Vermont? Might take me out of the action a bit, but on the other hand it might be a good way to farm some damage. Although there are other people now having that same thought, chasing after that Vermont. I think we'll keep going this way. Enemy gearing. I don't know what health they've got. You are purely relying, for something like the gearing, if you're getting into a fight, you are purely relying on just bullying your way through with more hit points. And he's already lost some health. Right, he's actually giving me some broadsides, so let's get Hydro going. Yes, yes, you're trying to smoke and rely on your allies, but that's not going to work. There's your torpedoes. I'm going to want to try and thread the needle here. That's fine. Right, unfortunately his allies also started taking notice and firing at me, which is a little unfortunate. I might actually sink here just due to the fact that multiple people have been firing at me. But if we can take the gearing out, that'd be nice. Right, I'm down to a mere 4,000 hit points. Oh, and that one is the game anyway, so never mind. I was hoping to turn my guns around and start pew-pewing at those things, but we've won. Okay, not bad. Only 80k though, but we did get a combat scout. At least 20% total base HP of all enemy ships. Oh, we didn't lose a single ship. Oh dear. Yeah, that Shima definitely went and left the game. Either on purpose or, you know, forcibly disconnected, but either way. I mean, it is the holidays right now, so yeah, but even so, that was a pretty one-sided game. Okay, well, this is just on the face of it a tougher setup because I'm the only destroyer. There's one destroyer per side, and there are CVs in play, and you tend to be a priority target for the CVs in those kind of circumstances. So we'll see how this goes. Our CV is actually a Shinano as well. There is one thing I want to mention. I am experimentally going to try upscaling this video. I bought myself some fancy video software that is going to hopefully let me do that and not add a whole heap of extra processing time into the bargain, because I'm still running this at natively 1080p, which I've considered getting higher resolution monitors and whatnot, and to be honest, I'm still not fully sold on the idea. I have looked at other people playing on higher res monitors, but it does have the downside of, if I want to record, if I want to upload to YouTube at higher resolutions than 1080, I just kind of can't without doing some kind of video upscaling trickery. And it's only been in the last couple of years that that's even really been possible. So I splurged. There was a winter sale. I don't know how many people will have heard of Topaz Labs, but yeah, they make some upscaling products. I've previously bought their image upscaler, which is occasionally very useful for mostly thumbnails. Like if there's a particular element I want to, like if I'm not quite satisfied with how a screenshot is, just doing the regular upscale in Photoshop, which I must, it's an old version of Photoshop. The newer versions of Photoshop probably also come with built-in machine learning upscalers these days, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper to buy a separate piece of software that does that, rather than, like, you can't even just straight up buy something like Photoshop anymore. You've got to go for their stupid subscription service nonsense, which is designed to just milk money out of people, and I don't have that kind of, the occasional one-off expense I can manage, but the kind of ongoing expense that they want for Photoshop is just a bit too much. Right, I am spotted. That's either going to be destroyer or the gearing. And hello, incoming shells. Actually, who's that? I don't know who was spotting me is the thing. But whoever it is staying out of hydro range, which I should probably even have marked. The hydro range is nearly as good as your detection, so you don't have to go too far. Yeah, I'm getting a bit uncomfortable being here. Let's get out of this smoke. So anyway, the gist of all that is I am going to have a go at doing this video in either 1440 or probably not 4K, but I might go for 2K. Yeah, okay, that's the gearing. No, not the gearing, the Halland. Who at least, I get smoke. They don't have the luxury of smoke, so yeah. That's going to be a bit rubbish for them, but they are trying their best to stay unspotted right now. Okay, Stalingrad is almost in radar range. We're just going to try and grab this cap, and then I think we're going to boogie out of here. This is not my favourite map for playing destroyers, especially when the CV's in play. Oh, let's not slide out, let's not slide out. Sometimes you do that accidentally and it's very embarrassing. You're trying to time it just right and then you don't, and you've wasted a whole bunch of time. And you just look like a fool to everyone who is impatient to get out of the cap. Right, so Stalingrad's pulling back, Halland's back towards the middle and is taking... yeah, I mean, Halland's got decent AA, but... Do you even have your AA turned on at the moment? That kind of scenario, you might as well turn on your AA. Yeah, Halland made a bit of a mistake there, unfortunately for them, but very fortunately for me. That is one of the two spotting threats out of the way. We are losing some big ships ourselves, though. Right, the Libertad, I'm going to assume is built for secondaries. May not be, you never know. But we do want to be a little bit careful here. Shino's pulling back. I wonder if it's worth dropping. Are you straightening out your course a bit? You might be. Get some torpedoes out that way. Right. Hello, multiplanes. Do I use a smoke or do I... You know what? Let's put the AA to the test. I might regret this. But let's see what the AA is like. We do want to see if it's any good or not. That's one plane down. And a chunk of health lost, and they're all shooting at me, which is not so good. Okay, I mean, we're doing some damage here. It's certainly worth something, but this test is also, unfortunately, I think, going to get me killed. Okay, so it wasn't really enough to do anything too substantial. 5 planes down, 16k damage. Yeah, we should have just smoked that, obviously. But it was interesting to see it in action, whether it was actually going to be a sufficient deterrent. And it probably would to a tier 8 CV, but to a tier 10 CV or a super CV, no, it's not really going to do much. Anyway, we'll go on to another match and play a bit more sensibly. Right, again, single destroyer, and again CVs, but this time tier 8 CVs. So we'll see how this goes. This is in some ways a better map for playing as a destroyer as well. Don't have a lot of backup on this flank, so let's not go too wild to begin with. I think I will hang out on the 910 line to start with, just to see what gets spotted before I try and do anything like Cap C, which would tie me down. Donskoyen and Iwami are coming over this way. Did I say... I don't know what I don't know. Donskoyen is apparently what that's called now. Okay, brain. I'm pretty sure Iwami is one of the ones that's getting buffed, actually. It's getting like a reload buff, which is probably... like, it's not a ship you see that often. It's probably needed. So I should make sure my AA is turned off. And it also might be useful to have that on the minimap as well. 3.4. It's not exactly the stealthiest ship. I mean, it is a fairly large destroyer, but it's got pretty good stealth considering it's a fairly large destroyer. Right, so Republic. I might actually blind fire the torpedoes across there for now. Sometimes you are able to catch people out that way, and with the reload on the Torps being what it is, it's not exactly a tremendous commitment of resources. Oh, that's just reminded me, I didn't even show you what captain skills I'm using for this thing, but I will do before I end the video. Right, so this time we're going to be a little bit more sensible. Those guys are going for the curve first. So we're going to slow ourselves and do that, and we can also do a little bit of pew pew pew. Not planning on hanging out in the smoke that long. It's German smoke, so it doesn't last forever. But yeah, so there we go. That was maybe a bit more effective between our respective AA. Oh, right, here we go. Ibuki turning. This is going to be glorious for my AA, for my AP rather. I hope. Come on, give me that broadside. Give me that sweet broadside, Ibuki. Doing a bit of a devil's turn there. Nice, okay. go back to HE after this. Let's see, once they go angled, you really do need the HE, but it's German HE, so you get to enjoy that nice bonus penetration. Right, this time we'll use... Nice, there we go, there's a kill. You're actually going to try and torpedo my smoke cloud, which is not a bad strategy. Shima over there. There we go, and between myself and the curve first. Oh, who's not looking so healthy? Yeah. Our AA took care of those planes. Right, so unfortunately the Shima's taken down the curve first. Now we have a much better handle on where people are. I've got a minute till my smoke goes down. I've got hydro available, so let's try and push the cap a little bit and see if we can maybe dislodge this curve first. Also has the advantage of I'm staying largely within AA range of all these ships here as well. Okay, there's the Shima. They've come out of the smoke. I'm not sure if those planes are going for me or if they're just going to try and yeah. Shima's kind of coming this way. Let's get some consumables on the go. Hello, Shima. Sometimes the game doesn't quite tag on quick enough to the ships that you want it to. Right, that is the Bismarck having a go at me, I think. And another Iowa. No one firing their HE just yet, though. Oh, yes, Shima, you fired. That keeps you visible a little while longer. Right, this is not going to be a kill on the Shima, but they've lost a huge chunk of health. Driven them away from the cap. Oh, hello, Des Moines! Right, possibly we're going to want AP for that. Des Moines is understandably radaring, but to be honest, I think that's a little bit premature. Nice, some torpedoes. My torpedoes are about to come back. What are you doing here, Des Moines? This is kind of a bold move, shall we say. Right, this is Hydro now. Des Moines, a little bit scary. Little bit. But also they're dealing with multiple targets at once. And are about to die. So I would say that was probably, I mean, it cost me a lot of health. But that was a bad move from the Des Moines part, and honestly I'm not entirely sure what they were thinking there. Oh, okay, this might be a wasted smoke. I thought that Iowa was going to push round. Sadly not. Okay. But the Des Moines out of the way, I mean, that's a dangerous radar. Did cost me a lot of health though. But I do have Adrenaline Rush, so I'm at least getting something out of it. Okay, Iowa is coming around, so we might well get to torpedo here. The Republic is there as well. It's not going to be, I imagine, enough damage to severely hurt them, but I guess we'll see. No, okay, he's turning in, which is entirely sensible. That's going to be Shima Torps, which would be embarrassing if I took one of those, so let's not. It's just GTFO. Well, it is slightly annoying because I was hoping to get behind that island a bit, but I don't think that's going to happen. Ah, okay, the planes might be an issue. Plus no spot planes. You're going for the middle. Okay. We are just out of spotting range. Ooh. Let's get behind this island. Quite a lot of people now want to kill me, which is frankly very rude of them. And oh, I just need to get to safety. Woof! It's fine. Didn't need those hit points anyway. Well, that's the maximum adrenaline rush. If I run into that other destroyer now, I am boned. But I guess we'll see what happens. This has gotten a little bit spicy. We are going to get some torpedo hits there, though. Nice. Big extra chunk of damage. And a kill on the Iowa. Our Musashi is taking a bit of a beating here. Okay, no, this is not welcome, planes. You're coming in like this. I have not a lot of time before somebody decides they're gonna... Oh, okay. Take a pop. But fortunately, because they're Chlakov planes, it meant, of course, they're dropping one go, so they weren't hanging around with it, with planes circling overhead for another drop. But still, this was a little bit spicy. Okay, Shima's going after the Donskoy. That's actually kind of welcome news. We're going to use a smoke here, and we're going to go after this Bismarck. Oh, unfortunately, I was the one spotting the Bismarck. Well, okay. Well, there we go. Now, ideally, let's actually see if we can get a fire on him first. But we've got a limited window, so I want to give the AP a little go as well. Oh, that's Shima Torps coming in this way. Double fire. Confederate. Right, we're going to have to get out of this. I don't know if those are... Oh, okay, no, they wouldn't have. But never mind. Sometimes discretion is the better part of that thing. Okay, we're not doing too awfully overall. That Bismarck's got a decent amount of health, but the Yumihari is dead. Okay. There's that Musashi to the north, there's the Chlakov. Okay, this gone a bit spicy, but we have won this. There's now only those 3 ships left. So I guess we'll see if my torpedoes find their mark. If I can push this over 200k. Honestly, this is not any of these games been my best playing at all. Just like I said, I'm in a bit of a weird rush today with having to go into work immediately after I finish recording this, so no time for retakes, no time for... yeah, I'm feeling the pressure a bit. Right, there goes the Musashi to the encounter. Just circle round and try and catch up with the Bismarck a bit, I guess. It's only the Chlakov plane. Oh, no, never mind. They got him. It was only the Chlakov planes, I was going to say, that are the real threats to me getting spotted now, but yeah, I don't know if we're even going to be able to get the Chlakov in time. Let's just go in and get the cap. Grab some more points out of this. Get the game over quicker. Oh, there we are. I was thinking he'd still be lurking up in the corner, but he's literally just been spotted. So we might actually get to finish him off before this match ends. Right, we're about to get plane spotted, so let's go Daka 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 Daka. Quite in gun range yet. but not far off. He's already lost over half his health. Nice! If someone else doesn't sneak the kill, this might well be my kill. Nah, somebody else did sneak it. No 5 kills for me, no Kraken. Would have been nice. So that was better overall. Like I said, absolutely not my best play, but yeah, it's a very, very solid tier 10 destroyer. And if you hated the Elbing, you might well get on a lot better with this thing. So a quick look at the captain skills. So this is Gunther Lutyens, who was already spec'd out to give a little bit of a boost to torpedoes. If I was speccing purely for this ship, I might choose a few slightly different things, like having extra gun range, having the main battery and AA specialist there. Grease the gears might actually be kind of useful if you want to look more at the guns. 18 seconds is not too bad though. Could be a lot worse. So this is not exactly a specialised captain for this ship, and in terms of equipment, again I went mostly into torpedoes, but you could actually get a bit of extra gun range out of this as well. So I think that is just about everything I have to say about this. It's an attractive package. It's quite a capable tier 10 destroyer, and I kind of wish the Elbing was a little bit more like this thing, because the Elbing just so often feels like a very awkward, clumsy thing to play outside of being able to sit and smoke and go pew 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 with the powerful guns. This thing has the powerful guns and a lot more versatility besides. So yeah, honestly, if you were going to wait and get one of these, then I absolutely would. If you're a destroyer fan, if you're a German destroyer fan, certainly. Whether it's worth the 36k steel in the armory, that is kind of up to you. Like I said, I think 2 of these ships are confirmed to be available for resources. I'm pretty sure the Hoffman is one of them, and I'm not sure about the other 3. So yeah, this one, you know, if you absolutely must have it with a fancy steel skin, which I don't have because I got it from a crate, then, you know, you can do that. But personally, I'm holding on onto my steel for the Shinano just for the operational memes. It's probably not the best ship to be spending steel on, but I am just madly curious to see how it does in ops. So that is it for this video. I'm sorry it was a little bit rushed, but we still got some kind of okay games out of it, even if I wasn't playing at my best. If you did enjoy it, you can do all the usual things down underneath the video, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.